everybody, Mrs. Heisey here. Today I'm going to demonstrate to you how to do our wire, or also known as MIG welding. When you come into the welding booths in the back here, you want to make sure you have a couple things. Make sure you put a welding jacket on. They are located in the back room. You also want to make sure that you grab a helmet, a pair of welding gloves. You want to make sure that you actually have the thicker welding gloves, not the ones we use for the spot welding. You're going to need a pair of pliers. You will also need a pair of side cutters. And you're going to grab your material that you'll be welding on. There are 3 bins in the back. Make sure you grab it out of the proper one that's labeled. Then you're also going to want to grab a scrap piece of metal. I'm going to be welding on a metal table for this demonstration, but when you're here, our 3 booths that we have fire brick that is located right here. As you begin to weld, sometimes things get a little out of control, and it's easier if you're on fire brick so that you actually don't weld your metal to the table. Then it's a matter of having to cut it off and grind the tables down. So when you come back here, you'll be at the fire bricks. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. Now, we have our welder right here. You're going to notice that there's a gas tank attached to it at the back. Don't think you can see it in this video. So first thing that you want to do is make sure that you turn that gas on. And we're just going to open it up all the way. All right, so it's open. We have, make sure that there's some pressure in the regulators. Then we're going to unwind our cords. Okay. We have a ground and we have here's our ground. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ground this to the table. All I have to do is clamp it on the table. Now, when you do this, what you're going to end up doing is you will end up grounding that scrap piece of metal like that, and then you can just rest your material on there so that the electric current can actually run through all of that. All right? But for this demonstration, all I have to do is ground onto the table. All right, when I go to turn this on, all the settings should be set for you, but just in case they are not, you're going to turn on the machine, and there's 2 screens that are going to light up. One of them is going to say wire feed speed, and the other one is going to say volts. You want the wire speed at about 300, and you want the volts at 21. So as you're going through, if you feel the wire's not coming out fast enough, you can adjust the dial. You can turn that dial to go a little bit faster, or if you feel it's coming out too fast, then you can adjust it to make it slower. If you're not sure how to do that, or you're a little confused on it, please just ask for help. Happy to help out. All right. Now, when we have our trigger right here, there's a little red knob, a little red button. If I push this button in, the wire is going to start to extrude out of the end here. I want to keep this wire about 1/4 of an inch from the tip, so that's why I always keep a pair of side cutters, just in case it gets too long. Now, what happens sometimes is people just set the handle down and it accidentally presses this trigger. On the front of our welder, there is a little handle where you can set, or there is a little basket that you can set the handle in, so it will not hit that trigger. I'm going to go ahead and get ready. Again, there are going to be sparks with this, so I want to make sure my hair is well back out of my way. I do want to have safety glasses on just in case, to be more safe. You do not want to be wearing a mask. A mask is a fire hazard. Please make sure you take that off when you are welding. You will need to grab a welding helmet. All right. To use this helmet, you just place it on your head, and on the back there is a knob. You just twist until it's tight enough on there for you. Get my gloves. Now, when I'm doing MIG welding or wire welding, I want to make sure that I'm comfortable. All right, I normally hold it in my right hand because I am right-handed, and then I use my left hand as a guide. I want to keep this at about a 45-degree angle, but I want the nozzle to be up and down. I don't want my hand down here. It's just going to go out. What I'm trying to do is learn how to lay a bead. I'm going to try and practice laying beads about 2 inches long. If I know I'm doing it right, my bead is going to be as high as it is wide. So when we do this, you got to make sure that anybody that's around you has either a face shield, or we can put the welding screen up. As you can see, we do have curtains back here that will close those for you. You also want to make sure that you have well light so you can see what you're doing, and you also want to turn the exhaust on. All right, those switches are located right on the wall. Now, as I do this, I'm going to put my helmet down. I always say cover this way that anybody around me knows I'm about to start and create an arc on here. So I'm just going to, when I do this, before I put my helmet down, I'm just going to take my hand and I'm simply going to be pushing the bead forward. All right, again, I don't want to rest the nozzle on my metal. I want it about 1/4 of an inch above, and then I'm simply going to just be traveling at an even, steady pace going across my metal. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cover. When you're done, you just release the trigger. You'll notice that it's very hot on the end. Don't touch. I place that back inside of my little carrier over here. And then what I have is my weld on here. Again, it should be as high as it is wide. I want to keep it about 2 inches long. Now, one thing I did not do at the end here is there is a little crater at the end. You want to make sure when you come to the end of your weld that you make a tiny little circle there to help fill in that area. All right, that'll help keeping your welds nice and tight. So you're going to want to practice this. You're going to end up turning in 3 beads that you'll need to be graded on 3 beads. You can practice as many times as you like. Again, the metal is in the scrap barrel. If you have any questions at all, please make sure to ask.